Hello, everybody. My name is Rana. I'm the product manager of Hahnemühle Fine Art for the traditional fine art papers. And today I'm here to give you an overview of all the papers that we offer in our big range of papers. This overview will help you to understand what kind of papers we are offering for the different painting techniques, from watercolor to sketch, pastel, oil acrylic, and also our new products that we have launched yesterday. And now I would like to start with a presentation. So we will go together through this presentation, and later on we will talk about our special products, our specialties as well. Okay, so now let's start with a small presentation of our traditional fine art range. We are producing artist papers since 1584. We have experience in paper making for many, many years. And it is always very important for us to create new papers, to listen to the artists, to understand what they are asking for. And for example, last year, we have launched the collection. The collection is a range of paper with exquisite raw materials. It's really the highest quality that we can or that we offer so far. The collection includes watercolor papers, the pastel paper, and also a sketch paper. Coming to the watercolor paper. The watercolor paper, we offer them in 300 and 640 GSM. They are mold made. They are made of 100% very exquisite cotton rag. We offer them in cold pressed, rough, and hot pressed surfaces. These papers are all surface sized, and as all of our papers, they are acid free and vegan. What is surface sizing? Surface sizing means that papers have an additional sizing so that the colors do not get absorbed immediately, so that artists are able to do corrections, to lift off colors, to use masking fluids or adhesive tapes without any residue. They are eraser resistant, a very robust surface. You can do a lot with it. Many watercolor techniques can be used with this paper. And the special thing about the watercolor paper that we have here is the 100% exquisite cotton rag that I've just mentioned, a beautiful raw material that is used to produce these papers. Next, we offer in this range a pastel paper. It's called Ingress Pastel. We offer them in 100 GSM. I said them because we offer them in 12 different colors. We have pads. They include 9 colors, or you can also get them in white, but also sheets in 12 colors. They are made in our mold-made paper machine. They have fine ridges, and as well, they are acid-free and vegan. The Ingress Pastel paper is made with, let's say, with natural pigments that they are light fast, and the fine ridges on the paper, they enables during the application that the pigments really stuck on the paper, so that the pigments of the pastel don't fall off that easily. But anyways, it's still recommended that a pastel painting should always be fixed. The next paper that we offer in the collection is our sketch paper. This is a very special sketch paper because it is made of 100% very high quality cotton rag. It is a 140 GSM paper with a grainy texture. You can use it for any kind of dry painting technique, such as pens, colored pencils, charcoal, red chalk, and make beautiful paintings on it. Again, this is acid-free and a vegan paper. So This is our collection that we have launched last year, and we are really happy to have such a high quality or highest quality in our range of papers. Coming next, watercolor papers is surely one of our main focus that we put on. We have a huge range of watercolor papers from 150 up to 500 GSM. We offer them in cold press, in rough, and hot press. They are made on the mold made or on the Foudrinier paper machine. We offer them in with cellulose or cotton rag content. We have a great variety of sizes, a great variety of surface felts. Like as I said, we have cold pressed, rough, and hot pressed, but also within this, the cold pressed rough also shows different felt markings depending on which paper you are using. Again, these papers, and this is something that we really put focus on, they are acid-free, age-resistant, and again, vegan. We have launched a few years ago a range of watercolor papers. They are called Harmony and Expression. The specialty here is that these papers have a beautiful surface texture. They are additionally surface sized, so that, as I've mentioned before, colors can be lifted off very easily. You can use adhesive tapes and masking fluids and masking tapes without any residue. They are really eraser resistant. The Harmony is offered in cold pressed, rough, and hot pressed with 300 GSM, and our Expression watercolor paper is also a 300 GSM paper offered in cold pressed surface texture, but with beautiful 100% cotton rag, which always makes it a bit more special. Our range of sketch papers is, beside our big range of watercolor papers, one big range of different sketch papers that we offer. We really have a huge variety of sketch papers from 100 up to 250 GSM with grainy textures, toothy textures, which is important so that the dry painting pens, pencils, medium, whatever you use, really stick on the paper surface, because using a too smooth paper for a dry painting technique is not so suitable. So it is always very important that sketch papers in general have a kind of texture. We offer pads in glued versions, in spiral bound versions. There's a great variety of sizes, and also of many, many books that are also with hardcover, soft cover, different kind of white shades like natural white or hard white or very bright white for high contrast when you want to achieve that in your painting, but also some special papers like the Gradebook and the Cappuccino book that we would like to talk about later after this presentation. Also, we do have pastel papers. A pastel painting is a dry painting technique with pastels, and we offer a 130 and 260 GSM pastel paper. A grain, again, it's very important to have a grainy texture, and so that the color abrasion is perfect, especially for pastel paintings. For example, the velour is a very special pastel paper. It is a flocked paper, so that the pigments of the pastels really get perfectly stuck in the paper. We have a great variety of colors, from natural colors to black to lighter colors. And again, I don't need to mention that anymore, but I know acid-free and vegan as all of our papers. We also have a range of oil and acrylic papers from 230 GSM up to 450 GSM for every artist who would love to paint with oil or acrylic. Our oil papers, we offer them with linen textures. Our acrylic papers have either linen or fine natural textures. So for every artist, there is something regarding his taste. What we also have in our big range of papers are papers for illustration, for graphic, for design. So we offer a manga paper, a layout paper, Bristol paper, and the special thing about the manga and the layout paper, for example, is that you can use both for alcohol-based markers. So that the colors, they don't bleed through to the other side. They are really brilliant, vibrant, and perfectly suitable for either. You can use it also for water-based, but also for alcohol-based markers. We also have a big range of papers for traditional printing methods, like for lithography, intaglio. Different classic printing methods can be used with our papers. Again, a variety of different grades in grammage, in colors, in sizes. So with cellulose, with cotton rag, a really big range of papers for the traditional printing method. Let's come to our new product line that we have launched yesterday, and we are really, really proud of to talk about the natural line. The natural line is a beautiful line of artist papers that are made of very extraordinary, very exceptional, and most of all, sustainable fibers. First, we have the agave watercolor paper, a 290 GSM paper offered in cold pressed and in different sizes. And the strong and tough agave fiber combined with the smooth cotton rag really gives the paper a very special feeling. And also the colors really are brilliant on that paper, and you can make a lot with it. It's very robust. So it's a beautiful paper to make different watercolor painting techniques on it. Another natural line paper that we have launched yesterday is our hemp sketch, a sketch paper with 80 GSM made of 60% hemp fibers and 40% cotton rag. And again, hemp is a very strong fiber and a very robust fiber, and combined with this very smooth cotton rag, it really gives a beautiful sketch paper, which also almost looks like silky-like, a really good paper to make any kind of dry painting technique. Again, we have this grainy, toothy surface on these papers, available in different sizes in A5, A4, and in A3. To complete the natural line, we have decided to relaunch the bamboo mixed media and the bamboo sketch papers. They were already launched in 2008. And ever since, we always took focus on having sustainable fibers in our papers. So the bamboo mixed media with 265 GSM is suitable, as it already says in its name, for watercolor, for acrylic, for mixed media in general, for gouache, for example, as well, for fine liners, for markers, water-based. So you can do really a lot on this paper. And also the bamboo sketch, the same paper as the mixed media, but with a thinner grammage, is perfectly suitable for the dry painting technique, a bamboo sketch with 105 GSM. Both bamboo papers have 90% bamboo fibers and 10% cotton rag. So this is the natural line, a beautiful new line with these amazing sustainable products. And again, I love to mention it once again, it's acid-free and of course vegan. And last but not least, I would like to show you another product that we have launched yesterday, the toned watercolor pads. 1 year ago, we have launched the toned watercolor books, and the feedback was so huge and so positive, and everybody was talking about these books. And right after the launch of the books, we got feedback from many artists, many urban sketchers, many customers that we should extend the line of the toned watercolor book with the pads. And this is what we did yesterday. So we launched yesterday the toned watercolor pads in gray and beige with 200 GSM. It's a real watercolor paper available in A5, A4, and in the popular square size, 20 by 20 centimeters. And it's the same paper. It's identical to the paper that we have in the books, now also in the pads. I hope that I was able to give you a short overview of all the products that we have in our range, at least to give you an idea what we are offering, because showing every single paper would not be possible because we are really having a huge range of paper for everybody.
So Rana, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So I just sneaked in. My name is Ann Kristin. I am the colleague of Rana, and I'm working as the Marketing Director at Hahnemühle. So Rana, thank you very much, because sometimes people just get confused because we have such a variety of papers. We have so many different sizes, so many different formats, so many different, techniques possible. So from mixed media, with surface sizing, without. So every artist can be able to find her or his perfect paper in order to just transform his vision, his idea into the real artwork. So this is really fantastic, and I believe this was a really good overview regarding
I hope so,
the range.
yeah.
But I would love to have the opportunity now to talk a little bit more deeper about our bestsellers and our classics. So you finished your presentation with the toned watercolor books and toned watercolor pads that are brand new and hit the market yesterday. And these books that are so well perceived, especially by urban sketchers, which I love. So they are traveling the world with urban sketches, but I believe the toned watercolor paper, they weren't born initially, we want to have watercolor book. So I would just love to show again our watercolor book, and with this, everything started. So would you please just introduce this book to the audience?
Yes. Well, as Ann Kristin said, everything started with this watercolor book. We launched it a few years back. It's many years ago, actually. And this is something that we decided to launch because the artists, the urban sketchers, they were really asking and searching for a watercolor book, which has a good watercolor paper inside, which has paper which is identical on both sides, which is really important because some artists, when they are outside and painting, they love to use the complete width of the paper, of the book. So it is important that the paper has the same texture on both sides. So we started, we were really convinced of this product, but the feedback and the demand then for it was so huge that we also widened its sizes. We started with landscape sizes in A6, A5, and A4, and then we did a line extension, including portrait sizes as well. And this is definitely one of our best-selling items. So we are really happy to have it because the paper inside is a surface size paper, which means when you're on the road, when you are painting outside, and you can make corrections, you can lift off the color, or maybe you want to have an effect by lifting off the color, and you can use masking tapes, masking fluids without residue. It's so much fun painting on it, and it's also so much fun when we were able to go outside and see urban sketches in big cities using these books. So it really makes us also kind of proud that we were able to find the right product for this beautiful urban sketcher community. And yes, everything started with this book. And so we had some other family members that came after that.
So it's a perfect travel companion. Especially, and I think what we heard so often, especially by urban sketchers, is that the outer material of the book is a little bit yeah, what is it? So you can't really harm it. So it's very scratch resistant. You can spill a little bit of water over it, so it doesn't get harmed, which is a great feature as well.
It's also a bit water resistant.
Yeah.
So when you're outside, it really, and when you go with your fingernails, nothing happens, which is good.
So perfect travel companion. But I see that there is a question popping up. If these papers are going to be available in pads soon as well. We heard about this once in a while, so we definitely think about it. So thank you very much for this idea. We will think about it.
But what I would like to add is, if you are searching for a paper which is similar to this one, I can highly recommend to you the Harmony 300 GSM cold pressed paper. If you would only have the surface to be painted on, I mean the front side, because this is both sides the same paper texture. But if you use the Harmony 300 GSM with cold press, you have a quite similar paper like this. It's not the same, but the surface texture is quite similar. So give it a try. I think that would help.
So we talked a little bit about the watercolor book, and I love this product.
Me too.
So this is great. But we, as we learned how well perceived this book was in the market, we decided to launch something same but different.
Yeah.
And I would ask you to be so kind to talk a little bit about the Zig Zag Book.
The Zig Zag Book, yes, it's also a book as a family member to these watercolor books that we have. The special thing here is, as the name already says it, has a zigzag folding. So I'd like to show this to you. You have the possibility to paint an extreme landscape size, or if you would like to, you can make extreme.
I helped you a little bit.
Portrait sizes. You can make storyboards, you can paint stories, you can make anything with that. It's really extraordinary. The paper that we have used here is the same paper as in the books, as in these books, but this is the books have 200 GSM. The Zig Zag books have 300 GSM. So it's a bit thicker, that paper, so because it could be a bit more wavy in it. So we've decided to make it a bit thicker, but it's the same paper quality, same recipe. Again, it's surface size. You can make a lot of things with that. It's a really nice product, and we offer them in different sizes. Yeah.
And again, so many urban sketchers helped us developing it. So we were asked about extreme formats, yes. Landscape or skyscraper, and this is just the way how we love to produce products. So talk with the artists, get to know their needs, get to know their insights, and try to help finding the perfect paper or producing the perfect paper for them. So this is a huge shout out to all the artists out there that have so many brilliant ideas, and this is why our job is so much fun.
Yeah, you are so right. I mean, I always say we are the experts in paper making. Yeah, we do perfect papers, but you are the people out there who give us also the inspiration. And it's always very important for us to work in close contact with artists, to be in that artist community, to understand what the needs are. And this is so much fun, really, the combination of the perfect paper making and your input as well. So it's fun.
One other specialty that hit the market a couple of years ago, but that was more or less in a row after the launches, was the Gradebook and the Cappuccino book. So first we had the Gray, then we had the Cappuccino, and this is something very special as well in the range, which was more or less the founding project for the launch of the toned watercolor pads.
That's true.
Would you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We always have a story behind every product that we have. So this is the initial part of what later comes and so on. And I mean, it's really fun.
It is a journey.
It is always a journey. It's a very interesting journey. So we started actually with the Gradebook. That's true. Again, we had conversations with urban sketchers and artists, and so they were talking about having a paper which is not white, so that we already have, or the artists already have, a background color that they can directly paint on. And imagine using this paper with white acrylic pens. Beautiful results, effects. So this Gradebook is a 120 GSM paper. It's a very smooth paper. It's not suitable for watercolor, but it's perfectly suitable for brush pens, for fine liners, for acrylic pens. And the fact that it is a very smooth paper, the felt tips of the pens don't get any harm. You can use it very often, nothing happens. And it's so amazing what artists make of it. And we were so surprised, and I really loved the paintings or the drawings where I saw this white on this gray background. It really is a beautiful contrast. Using a black fine liner with white acrylic pens, for example.
You can layer, can't you?
You can make so much things with that. And I was so surprised. I mean, we were working many years here for the company, and we always dealt with white, natural white or bright white papers, which is a big part of our life here. And then we had this colored paper, and it was really so beautiful to see the results. And right after just a couple of months or a year after that, we launched the Gradebook. We decided also to launch the Cappuccino book. And as you can see, this is a beige background. The same paper quality, again, very smooth, and for brush pens and fine liners, acrylic pens in general. Also, dry painting technique is possible, but not watercolor. Don't use watercolor on that, because it's not watercolor paper. But I know that also artists used it. Some of them used it to make watercolor paintings. I mean, you can try it; it's not a problem.
But only light washes.
Yes, please, because But it's perfectly for all these other things. And it's, again, here, when you use white, it looks so beautiful. Just try it if you haven't before. Even we did.
But mentioning watercolor, there is one, let's call it classic, evergreen, that is in the Hahnemühle range since... Ever.
Are we talking about the same paper? I'm just thinking.
Maybe.
Does it start with B? Britannia.
No.
No. Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about the watercolor postcards.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The watercolor postcards.
Watercolor postcards stick around in our assortment since forever. And it all started with cold pressed. And we had a latest edition now with, it started with rough. And now we have cold pressed. This is how it was. Yeah. The cold pressed all-rounder paper came afterwards. But these metal tins with the postcards are available every year with the new layout and a new design, and artists help us here to make these tins very special. Rana, can you please talk a little bit about these? This is actually the latest edition now.
You see that? I tried to hold it in the camera without reflecting it maybe. I have here the rough version, and as Ann Kristin already mentioned, we also introduced, I think 1 or 2 years ago, the cold pressed version of it. Because we started about 11 years ago, I think 11 or 12 years ago, we had the idea to have postcards in this metal box, because when the postcards are used, they are, you don't have any more, you still can use the metal box for anything, to keep your colors in it, or your eraser, whatever, your artist materials. And we are really happy that this year, the new edition, 2021, is from the artist called Alicia Aradilla. She's a Spanish artist.
And a fantastic urban sketcher.
Amazing, yes. And we are really, really happy that she wanted also to support us to have this new edition of, I don't know if you can see it, but I hope so. Just take a look in real if you are able to. They are now available, and we are really proud that we have these beautiful images on these 2 metal boxes.
The very special thing about it is that, first of all, you can use the box afterwards in order to carry your pieces of art. Second, which is really good, is you have a really fine, nice structure, which you unfortunately can't see over the camera, but you have, I don't know if you can see it, there's already some thin lines where you can just type or write in the address, and then you can just send your loved ones a small little artwork to cheer them up via post. So this is quite convenient, and yeah, the boxes,
I love them.
They have ever been a bestseller since day one, which
true.
is fantastic. And I love the idea that you have really every year another artwork representing another artist on the box. So just watch out at your local dealer, at your online shop at the moment. Unfortunately, not in store, only online.
But soon.
But definitely soon again. And yeah, watch out. You will find different artworks for cold pressed and rough, and it is also mentioned on the banderole. So make sure to get your paper surface you wish. This is one, let's call it modern classic, evergreen as well.
Yeah.
There is something else, and I want to quickly hop into the sketch area. There is one paper and one book that has been around forever as well. That's true. That has been more or less, yeah, as a line extension transferred into pads. And yeah, this is the nostalgie. I am not really happy with my presentation skills here, but Rana, nostalgie. This is a fantastic paper, very, very nice, very just, you love to touch it. Yeah. Just explain us a little bit what you can do with the paper, how you can play around with it.
Yeah, nostalgie is one of our best-selling paper in the sketch paper range. We offer them since forever, I would say, in pads for many, many years. And also when we were in conversation with artists and so on, we got the feedback, we would love to have it as a sketchbook as well. And then we decided, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, to use this nostalgie sketch paper to make books out of it. And we have a big variety of sizes in landscape, but also in portrait size from A6 up to A4. The special thing about this paper is it is a 190 GSM sketch paper, which is a quite thick sketch paper, but still you can make really beautiful dry painting techniques on it. It has a grainy, toothy surface texture, which is important when you use sketch pencils on it. But what you can also do is light washes. You can use slightly, you can make slightly wet paintings on it, but really not too much water, just a bit. But you can use perfectly watercolor pencils on it, just wetten them a bit, so you can make enhancements with colors. And this is yeah, a really beautiful sketch paper. It's one of my personal favorite, I must say. So, and the books and also the cover material, we always put focus on that the cover materials, that they look good. That's the first thing, of course, but that they also are very robust. Because artists are sometimes outside, they paint outside, so that it's resistant against water, against fingernails. But I mean, I have also seen artists who really make artwork out of the cover material, which is also beautiful. So you can make many things with our papers and books.
So this is a really nice product. And again, thank you so much for supporting Hahnemühle that much. So when we see artists out there, they really use our products as a travel companion, which is fantastic. And this is how yeah, it's designed and supposed to be.
Yes.
Rana, there are some questions that are frequently popping up, and I want to use this possibility and opportunity to ask these questions, these frequently asked questions, so that we can clarify maybe some things, miracles, myth, or einfach misunderstandings. Yeah, I switched to German. This is what happened yesterday as well.
German. No, I don't think so.
Rana, there are some questions talking about alcohol-based inks or pens or markers. What products are suitable, or our products are suitable for maybe Copic, or tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, for alcohol-based markers, please use our Manga Pad or our Layout Pad. These two qualities are the best papers that can be used for alcohol-based markers, because alcohol-based markers, they are very brilliant. They are quite aggressive in their feature, so not every paper can hold it, but these two paper qualities are able to hold it. They won't bleed through. They shine through to the other side, but that's okay, but they don't bleed through to the next page. So you can use very easily alcohol-based markers like Copic, for example, on our Manga Pad or on our Layout Pad.
And talking about manga,
I was waiting for that.
There was a little bit of a spoiler alert in yesterday's session. We have this Manga Pad around for a couple of years, so it's not brand new, but we just decided to change the pad cover to make it a little bit more visible manga. And as there was a spoiler alert yesterday, I think this is now the time to just reveal how the new, or not the new pad, but the pad will look like in the future.
In the future. I have one here.
This is a kind of revealing now.
Yeah, this is a premiere. So this is the design of our new Manga Pad, which will be available within the next months. So I hope that you like it. I think it looks quite modern. We have reduced the color a bit. So this is how our new Manga Pad will look like.
Exactly.
So this is the paper which is perfectly suitable for alcohol-based markers. So use this.
So reach out to your local dealer and look for that paper. So it's really suitable. It's really nice. So it's very thin and very soft and very smooth. The tips of the pens won't be harmed. Exactly. So this is a really nice paper. You got to try it out.
Yeah. But you also mentioned the alcohol inks.
Yeah.
Before I forgot that, alcohol inks, this is quite a trend, or was last year, and still, and many people are trying to be, or are creative with this kind of painting technique. And alcohol inks, we have one paper which is perfectly suitable for that. It's in our Lana range. It's called Lana Vanguard. I highly recommend that. The results are amazing. So Lana Vanguard is the paper for alcohol inks. Yeah.
Bright white, very soft.
Yeah. It has a very closed surface, so the inks really don't get absorbed. You can make so much on the surface. You can still use a hair dryer to let the colors flow. You can make anything with that. Yeah.
So basically the perfect all-rounder to play around.
Yeah.
You're in love. Fantastic. So we talked a little bit about the nostalgia. We talked a little bit about the new Manga Pad. There's something else that hit the market and just exploded. So everyone was talking about it. So it's still a trend, and we can see it very often still in the social media channels, still everywhere around the world. Let's talk a little bit about the hand lettering pad. Yeah, this is a little bit difficult with the lights here, but what's the secret behind this paper, Rana?
The secret behind this hand lettering paper is it is a paper which is so smooth. It has a extremely, let's say, hot pressed surface. so that you can use it very easily and very perfectly for brush pens. It does not give any harm to the tips. It is a very, very smooth surface texture. It is bright white, so that the colors that you use on it, they are really brilliant. But you can also use it for fine liners, very good. And for any kind of water-based markers, it is also suitable. I'm trying to open it. I don't know, maybe you can't see it, but it is a very, very smooth. It is like silk. Let's say it's like silk. So it's a very smooth, very beautiful paper. And with 170 GSM, quite thick for this kind of application, and beautiful for making any kind of hand lettering on this hand lettering pad.
So make sure if you want to start with either watercolor or hand lettering, is it safe to say, make sure that you try to work with the suitable paper, like hand lettering on a very rough watercolor paper possible, but maybe you get frustrated.
Yeah, anything is possible. But I always say, when you use the right paper for the painting technique or for the creative process that you would like to make, it is always so important to have the right paper, because otherwise you really get frustrated. Mm-hmm. As I always say, for example, let's talk about watercolor. When you are a beginner, you might say, oh, okay, I'm just a beginner. Let's start with a 150 GSM paper. It's not too expensive. Don't do that. Start with the good paper in 300 GSM, because as a beginner, you don't know how many water you might use. Maybe the color, the paper gets wavy. And this is really frustrating. Start with a good paper, also as a beginner, and you will always have better results than using a not so good paper.
So make sure to have very good artist supplies.
Exactly.
From brush to color,
really,
pen,
I mean,
everything. Then the results will be good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, Rana, we have one more special I briefly want to talk about. This is something that has been around forever, but does not, again, but I believe many people might not know about it. It's another product that you can play around with quite well. You can use it for very different purposes. You can even scrapbook in it, which I saw. And you mentioned before that some artists love to individualize the cover material or the outside material of the book, for example.
Yeah.
This product is absolutely fantastic for it. I am talking about the Black Book. Not many people, I believe, know this product. Why is that?
I don't know. It's such a nice product, really. Yeah, it is a Black Book. It is with 250 GSM, a quite thick paper. Trying to open it to show it to you. And the very special thing here is...
Just rip it off.
I think I will rip it off. The very special thing here is... sometimes you hear that black paper is not acid-free because of the black pigments. It's very hard to make them acid-free. But our black paper, it's always acid-free. So this as well is an acid-free and vegan paper. As you can see, black sheets, and you can make, as you've mentioned, so many different things with it. I heard of people who make guest book out of it, people who are doing pastel paintings on it, because you have a beautiful high contrast. And imagine using a white pastel or a yellow pastel on a black background. So scrapbooking and even metallic colors, they really look very beautiful on that paper. Again, you have the same texture on both sides. So it's a paper or a product, excuse me, which should be known much more because it's such a beautiful product indeed.
It's so versatile, isn't it?
It is. You can make so many things out of it.
Yeah,
that's true.
A little bit like mixed media again, but on black this time.
Yeah, why not? White looks so beautiful on that. And you can also create the cover material, make anything.
Absolutely. So I would like to come to an end. There are so many other sessions planned for today and as well tomorrow. So make sure to not miss your favorite session. But I want to, before we close this session, I would love to ask one thing again. You mentioned it once or twice, but vegan, acid-free. What is it in Hahnemühle range?
All our papers are acid-free and vegan. We really are putting focus on things like that, on the environment, on sustainability. And it is also very important for us to have papers that we can call vegan. We don't need and we don't want to use any animal resources. So we are really proud of it, and it's still very important for us, and we will keep it that way.
Absolutely. So Rana, thank you very much.
Thank you too.
In case there are more questions from customers, and I believe there are, please make sure to reach out. We love to answer all your questions. We have the contact form on our website. We have social media channels around Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So make sure to reach out and we try to answer all your questions. So thank you very much. I had a blast again.
So much fun.
And to everyone out there, have a great rest of the day. Bye.
Bye-bye.